Welcome. This review is part of a new series of what will probably be a very long project in which I'll be reviewing every game in the itch.io's bundle for racial justice and equality. For those who may not know, this was a bundle made to raise money for a BLM cause where you could get 1,741 video game products for as low as $5. And why did I say products? Well, not all of these are straight up games. Some are RPG books or assets made for making games, and I'll probably not be reviewing those. Now, how much of that affects that 1741 number? I don't know, but from what I've seen, it doesn't seem that the bundle is primarily filled with more traditional video games, so I think that the final number of reviews will still be well over 1,000, and it's kind of a crazy project to take on, but it's something that I wanted to give a try. But also, do not expect a tight release schedule for this. So, going into our first review, this game is called Overland, and I'll just be reviewing this as they are ordered in the bundle, which seems pretty random for the most part, with some of the more high profile games at the top. Overland is something I would call a turn-based survival game, and I gotta say, this is a double whammy for me, cause I suck at both of these genres. So maybe don't expect a realistic depiction of the game's difficulty from me, but I will try and portray everything in a fair manner. As most survival games, this one has a heavy emphasis on resource management. It's sorta realistic and it goes nicely with the almost minimalistic design of the game, both graphically and gameplay wise. Without a backpack, characters can only carry two things at a time, and dogs one. Given that we have two hands and dogs have a mouth, I don't know, it makes sense. The type of items in this game are fairly simple. You have weapons like an axe and a stick, or a gun and a rock, and given that most characters have either 1 or 2 life points, the difference between these weapons will mostly hinge on their durability and range. Then we have equipable items like hats, which don't do anything? Yeah, I guess they're just there for aesthetics. And there are more useful ones like backpacks and headlamps for the night, and the shield. They're not actually shields, they're impromptu ones. But they're very useful nonetheless, as being hit a single time while unprotected in this game will lead you to be severely hindered. Not only does your character have much worse movement range, he will also have a lot less stamina, as in the amount of things he can do per round. To fix this, we have our next set of items, health kits. These serve to heal the character, of course. There are just 3 items for this. The first aid kit, which heals once, the med kit, which has infinite uses, and the painkillers, which only heal temporarily. Something that can also be damaged and fixed is the car. While you can walk, this will be your primary means of transportation. As you move from screen to screen, the car itself is replaceable, as there are few variations with their unique focuses, like more inventory space or more seats. The cars can also be upgraded with the car-focused items, stuff like headlights, that will make them more useful during the night, or more traditional things like upgrading the inventory space. And of course, because this is a survival game, you also have to keep track and find gas for your car. The final type of item is the tradable item. This can be a bit confusing when you first find them, as you might not know what to do with them. Like, I was carrying a bunch of books thinking I was gonna be able to read them and learn some ability, but this is not the case. But you can trade them at certain spots in the game where you'll find other survivals who will be willing to trade with you or even join your party, and not just humans, also dogs like I hinted at earlier. Dogs compensate for their lack of inventory space with bigger movement radius and also the ability to attack without a weapon. And like I said before, most enemies in this game will have only 1 or 2 life points, making dogs incredibly useful. Honestly, if humans did not have unique abilities within them, also the ability to heal someone, I would be hard pressed to pick a human over a dog in this game. These abilities are mostly convenience things like picking up blocks or attack hitting twice, making, double the damage. But they can also be negative, like expanding extra gas or making extra noise, so it can be sort of a gamble. At these trading spots I mentioned, you are also able to steal and even kill if it comes down to it, and it's pretty cool because there are consequences to it, as you will gain a reputation for having done so. It's not so much that this is something you would want to do willingly, but for when you run out of options. Again, I'm not very good at this type of game, but it definitely felt like the game always wanted me to be the brink of things going bad and being put in a tight situation. This feeling is alleviated by the ability to restart whatever screen you are on at the time, which I would recommend doing on a level that you can complete but did a lot of mistakes on, as you might snowball your game into a unbeatable situation. There isn't a whole lot of story going on in this game. Well, at least that is explained. Most of it's told through the gameplay, which is nice. The game starts on a very normal setting and gets progressively weirder as you try to move towards safety, which I guess the idea is that safety is just past the most crazy infected part of the world. I'm not gonna spoil the end, but I will definitely say I was not particularly satisfied by it. And it doesn't help when most of the flavor text has nothing to do with this crazy phenomenon that is going on in the world. In fact, characters in the game ever hardly acknowledge it. Questions, for the most part, do not get answered. Things are just left mostly to interpretation, which is a choice I get, but for this type of story, I would have rather had some explanations. So, do I recommend this game? Well, it depends on what you enjoy. If you already like turn based isometric RPGs, then this might be a bit too simple for you. If you like survival games, then this might be a bit too slow for you too. But if you're looking for a more simple and laid back experience for a turn based game, then I would say give this one a try. The graphics are nice if you enjoy the more minimalistic style. I guess the final verdict is hinged on that. If you want more minimalistic experience that isn't completely dull and stopped by going for that minimalistic aesthetic. And that is it for the first game in this series. Be sure to subscribe because it's gonna be a long one and I hope to keep it going. I'm sorry if this review is kinda short. It's been kind of in the pipeline for a long time. I've been kinda putting it off, but I really want to do it, so here it is. We'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. Subscribe again.